friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as I mentioned last week, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over what I think, in my personal belief, should fix Mace Windu. Now when it comes to Mace Windu, there's a lot of stuff that could be done. And what I've gone through is I've looked at his kit, and without completely destroying it, and while at the same time making it more viable, I feel like, or staying true to the way that they've currently designed this kit, I've come up with a few different ways or a few different tweaks to make Mace Windu just a heck of a lot better. Now, currently his basic attack reads deal physical damage to target enemy. If Mace is above 50% health, this attack deals 50% more damage. If he's below 50% health, he recovers health equal to 70% of the damage dealt. Pretty cool, right? And when he's, if he's attacking with others, then he can, essentially keep health, and that's great, whatever. The way that I've added, or what I've added to this is, if this attack scores a critical hit against a Separatist, Sith, or droid, the enemy is exposed, and he has a chance to deal damage a second time, or to attack again a second time, dealing 25% more damage. It's not killer. It's not like this, oh, that's amazing. But it grants expose. It heals him. It will attack again, potentially, and it will deal damage a second time. Now, whether, he gains health that second time or not, that's up in the air. It would be pretty cool. Maybe you would lower the health gained, right? Instead of a 50% chance to health, maybe he gains health back at 40%. And since he attacks again, that second attack would still give him a chance to gain 40% of the damage dealt. And since you're dealing more damage, I don't know, but it would be really cool in my mind to see that basic ability being phenomenal, because Mace should be phenomenal. He should be one of the best Jedi, because he was one of the best Jedi. Mace was freaking amazing. Now, jumping down to Smite. Smite, I've only tweaked a little bit. I've lessened the cooldown to 2 instead of 3, and I've added deal 50% more damage against Separatist droids, right? And so again, it's very specific. You're still going to deal special damage to all enemies, and you're going to remove all positive effects, status effects from that enemy. But you're also going to be dealing more damage to Separatist droids, which makes sense because you don't want to make this Jedi so phenomenally good that he's great everywhere. You want to make him phenomenally good where he should be good. And against Separatist droids is right there where I think he needs to be. But his leadership ability has a lot of potential to it. He could be in charge of clones. He could be in charge of Jedi. There's a lot of different things. Any Galactic Republic, I think, anyone with a Galactic Republic tag should benefit from this. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Mace and his lore, and I think this is more Legends now than it was canon, but Mace Windu, the reason he, like every Jedi has that one Achilles heel, and like everyone has a love. Mace Windu loved the Republic, right? That was the thing. He didn't go to the dark side. He wouldn't have gone to the dark side. Well, that's debatable, but he loved the Republic. There's a book, and it's the book that precedes the actual novelization of The Revenge of the Sith, right? But it's where Mace finds out what he's looking at. And there's a scene in the book where Mace and a group of Jedi have discovered like one of the secret locations of Palpatine, where he met with Dooku, where he met with Maul, where he met with whatever. And it's essentially that location where he and Maul, or Sidious and Maul, are kind of standing out talking in, I think, episode 1. But Mace and a group of Jedi have like totally found this place, and they're like, all right, we're going to go. We now have a feeling. We now know that whoever the Sith is somehow connected to the Senate, right? And so it's a really cool book. And like, if you haven't read the Legends era of the Clone Wars, highly recommend it. It's phenomenal. But this moment, it shows that Mace, the one thing that he was willing to throw it all away for was justice and the Republic. And I don't know, guys. Like, I think it would be really cool if he just allowed all Galactic Republic allies to benefit from his leadership ability. And I think that would be awesome. Now, when it comes to unique abilities, I have one called Repost. It is a Zatable ability. It is what I would totally give him. So it says Mace has a 50% evasion chance against melee attacks and a 65% evasion chance against range attacks. He has a 100% counter chance, and Mace is immune to the effects of Force Lightning and Shock. That, I think, might be over the top. Maybe his evasion chance just needs to be 50% and leave it at that. But the idea is that Mace didn't get hit a lot. He was great at redirecting stuff. He was great at a lot of different things. And let's face it, he was able to redirect Force Lightning back onto Palpatine. That is bad A. And he's immune to it. So like I just think that would be an awesome ability to give to him, especially as unique. Now, definitely you would need to have this as a Zatable ability because Force Lightning and Shock are pretty potent abilities. And with Darth Revan and a lot of the stuff that we've seen so far, that absolutely is going to be something that's just, I don't know. I think it's awesome. I think it would be great to see. Now, the other ability, this is an actual ability. It's called Redirect. It would have a 4-turn cooldown, and it says for 2 turns, maybe 3, Mace redirects all damage from ranged attacks back to the initial attacker at like a 75% rate. So it's not a full damage attack, but it's all goes back to that main attacker. This damage can't be avoided. Now, the way that I would play this would be that, like, if it was a multi-attack, so I'm thinking like when someone calls a multi-attack, an AoE attack, and all of those attacks are ranged attacks and they fire against a Mace, he's able to redirect all of those blasts to whoever called that main attack. Now, that would be great against bounty hunters. That would be great against the Empire. That would be great against really anyone who has a number of long-ranged abilities with AoE. It wouldn't be the most effective thing on defense, I don't think, because then, right, and then the AI could probably do something stupid with it, which probably would. But I think it would be a great offensive ability. Now, finally, the last thing that I would do to his kit is I would rework Shatterpoint. No, currently it says at the start of each of his turns, Mace has a 45% chance to expose a random enemy until the end of his turn. This effect can't be resisted. In addition, Mace gains 25% whenever he attacks an exposed enemy, right? Really cool. So what I would do is I would say at the start of each turn, Mace has a 75% chance to expose the healthiest enemy. If this enemy is the leader, right? So big if. He has a 35% chance to expose all enemies. This effect can't be resisted. Mace then gains 35% turn meter whenever he attacks an exposed enemy. Mace is already pretty fast. He's got 135 base speed. But if this is the healthiest enemy, if the healthiest enemy is the leader, it's kind of like the fear mechanic that we've seen introduced with Dark Bastila and Darth Revan, but it would be exposed, and that would be awesome. Now, it's a higher chance to expose the healthiest enemy. If that healthiest enemy also is the leader, it then blossoms out to everyone else, which then couldn't be avoided. Now, this would be a great tool against General Grievous, because Grievous is obviously, he uses health instead of speed. The Separatist team really focus on health instead of speed. So this would be a great tool against them. I don't foresee something like this ever being added, but man, would it be cool. Now, again, these are just the reworks that I would put on him. These are just the thoughts that I would give to him. I don't necessarily think that they will be what they are. I do think a rework is coming. I do think that it's more likely that they'll stay in keeping with the mechanics that they've already given us, but they might make a few tweaks. Obviously, I think the leadership ability needs to be tweaked. Obviously, I think he needs to have additional abilities, and he needs to be able to somehow redirect blaster shots. That's what he was good at. And think how cool would it be if he could redirect something like Force Lightning. That would be awesome. Now, what do you guys think? How would you rework Mace Windu's kit? Final question. The final question I'm going to leave with you guys, and I am very curious about your thoughts. Does Mace Windu live? We've seen Jedi fall from great heights and still survive. We've seen tons of people lose their hands and still survive. What do you guys think? Will Mace make a comeback sometime in the near future or even in the distant future? Let me know. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share this video. Join the conversation on Discord. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, @RealGoingNerdy. Visit us at goingnerdy.com and chat with us. Let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, smile. Stay nerdy.